But the single factor in a forest fire that's most dangerous for homes and everything else is the ember storm that runs ahead of a fire. So that ember storm, as the fire's building and the smoke columns building, and it's all this convective heat, it's moving up into the air, and it's picking up football size, embers, and throwing them 10 miles downrange to start more fires. And then in front of it is this wave of embers, and you've probably seen pictures of that. It's like a snowstorm of fiery embers that run ahead of the fire. And so even if you've cleared all of the flammable material 100 feet or whatever, 6 feet, whatever people recommend now, away from the house, you still have the ember storm to deal with. And he said if you spray that stuff on any kind of organic stuff, fences, firewood, anything in advance of a fire, even weeks in advance of a fire, so that it's bone dry, you can't burn the stuff down that this Citrotech is on. And I said, you can't make a claim like that. That's ridiculous. So he flew me out to Rohnert Park out by Oakland. And he took some Christmas trees and there were a bunch of insurance underwriters there and fire departments and so on. And he took. And so if you do a combination, my point is, if you do a combination of hardening your house and trimming your trees and, keeping the bushes away from the back and stacking your firewood in the backyard and that kind of stuff, that's great. But the missing piece is, what do you do about the embers? And so now there's a really viable thing you can do about the embers as well. And, there are a lot of wildfire defense systems out there, but there's only one chemistry that we're aware of that actually inhibits fire, won't allow stuff to burn. So there are tools coming online that are going to make it easier for people. When people first look at their yard that they grew up in the house, and the little trees they planted when they were kids and so on are suddenly, 70 feet high and 35 feet wide and highly flammable. It's overwhelming to think about going out there and cutting it down or cutting up the limbs, high enough off the ground so fire on the ground won't light them on fire. Things like that. It's just crazy difficult for a lot of people, age or just lack of skills or no money or whatever it is, reason why they can't.